I get asked a lot by my viewers where I find the topics for my videos, and most of the time I tell them the Lost Media Wiki or from my friends. But sometimes, in more rare cases, topics come to me from the strangest of places. The racist Gengar came to me while I was vacuuming a carpet, and the Robot Jones Lost episodes were the result of watching a random assortment of Cartoon Network bumpers at 3 in the morning. But today's topic comes from my mind, an old memory that was recently brought to my attention after 4 years of forgetting it existed. So the other day I was watching some gameplay of the Yoshi Story GBA tech demo. This demo's purpose was to showcase the GBA's power. A lot is known about this tech demo already, and we even have the ROM for it. But back when I was first discovering this tech demo even existed, there was a second GBA Yoshi tech demo that I was always much more intrigued in. Back in 2014 on my blog, I made a post talking about some beta games that I thought were interesting at the time, and the very first game that I talked about is something out of the ordinary. Check out this image of what appears to be a purple Yoshi running forward in a forest area. He is locked onto an enemy, with his tongue stretching out, presumably to eat it. According to my post, this is a Yoshi tech demo that was made for the Game Boy Advance that I had found alongside Space World 2000 content. But that's all I knew for sure. Whatever site I got this image from, which wasn't IGN, said that the image looked like Yoshi's Safari on the SNES, and that the graphics rivaled that of the N64. But that's it. That's all I wrote in regards to this mysterious tech demo. At the time I wasn't really into lost media, and didn't even really have the mindset to research odd things further, so I sorta just accepted this for what it is, and forgot about it for 4 years. Well, today I'd like to get to the bottom of this mystery, and see what we can uncover about this image. To begin our quest, I want to figure out which site I originally got the image from, so to do that I did a reverse image search, hoping that the source site would pop up. I ended up with 3 results. One was my blog. Great start. The other 2 were forums. The first forum was called Ars Technica, in which the thread discussed the image, more so regarding its authenticity over what it actually came from, so that didn't help me much with what I was looking for. But the second site, the well-known Lost Levels forum, was of much more help. It seems like within the same year I had made my blog post, this user made an attempt to get more info about the image himself, although ends up rather unsuccessful. He did leave 2 links though, one to SM128C and another to pocketmedia.ign. I clicked the first one and it was 404'd, so I popped it into the Wayback Machine and up came a web page. The website was called Super Mario 128 Central, and things were feeling very familiar to me about this site. There were lots of mentions about Space World and the GBA, so I felt like I was on the right track. Soon enough, near the bottom of the page, I found the exact same image from my blog. I knew for certain this was the site I was looking for. Now that we're here, I wanted to read through the source post to see if there was any important details I had missed or left out of my original blog post. And unfortunately, there were not. I had pretty much reworded this entire article on my blog. But not all hope was lost. There was that other link on the Lost Levels forum. The URL said pocketmedia.ign, so I went to the Wayback Machine to check that out. But where were we going to start to look on this site for one single image? Well, earlier I had said I originally found the image alongside other Space World content on the Super Mario 128 site, so I decided to start looking in the early 2000s for Space World related content. I did find a multitude of Space World coverage, preview pictures of upcoming GBA games, and even articles talking about the power of the GBA, which is something I thought the image illustrated perfectly, but I wasn't finding anything about the image itself, which means it was time to hone in on a specific date and section of the site. I went back to the 2 places where we found the image at all, the Ars Technica forums and Super Mario 128 Central. The Technica forums had a post date of August 14th, 2000, and the Mario 128 site had a post date of August 15th, 2000, only a day later. So I thought that maybe August 14th was the earliest and the actual date when IGN posted the image. But before I went back to the Pocket site, I inspected the image's URL and saw that it said News. There was a dedicated news section on the site, so I decided that a news article dated August 14th would probably contain the picture. It didn't take long to find what I was looking for, a news article dated August 14th, titled GBC and GBA at Tokyo Game Show. If there was ever an article that would have an image as rare or used in such a way as this, then I thought I had hit gold. I clicked the article and held my breath, only to find out that there wasn't a single Nintendo game on the list, it was only third parties. At this point I was really frustrated because it seemed like I was searching for a needle in a haystack, so I decided to ask a contact what his thoughts were. I chose Craig Harris, someone who was credited on many of the articles on IGN Pocket and someone who I just knew from prior knowledge had huge contributions made to IGN as a whole. I sent him a message of the picture and a short summary of how I had no idea where it came from other than the IGN Pocket site, and asked if he remembered anything about its origin. He replied very quickly, and said he didn't remember it specifically, but that it was probably sent in by a reader for their Q&A section, asking whether or not the image was legit. This was a great lead, so I checked out their Q&A section as well as their letters section, and went to July, August, and September month archives. I read through a large selection of the posts, most of which contained GBA content, but nothing specifically about that Yoshi image. These sections didn't even use pictures, so I had no idea where to turn now. And that's when the classic lost media luck came into the search. Out of my frustration, I just randomly clicked an article I hadn't clicked on before. And bam! There it was. Well, kinda. While the image is heavily pixelated, it was without a doubt the same image. This was its origin. But why is this version pixelated, and what does it mean about the story surrounding our main image? Well, there is one very important piece of information on this page that almost answers all of our questions. It reads, and today we've posted a handheld board exclusive. See that screwy picture above? There's a crystal clear version of that picture in the boards. It's a game screen of some sort, sent to us from our Japanese correspondent. The resolution is exactly that of the Game Boy Advance, and it's possible it might be an as of yet unannounced GBA game featuring a certain Nintendo dinosaur. Or it might just be a mock-up some Japanese publication created as to what a GBA game could look like. Curious? Check it out. To summarize, this article is essentially a plug for the IGN boards. IGN has this Yoshi screenshot that they obtained from their Japanese source. They don't tell you anything about it in the article, blur the image, and then tell you to join their forums to see the clear version of the picture and find out if it's real or fake. Luckily, we don't have to worry about seeing the clear image because we have that, but we don't have the original thread as it's totally lost. So that means the real truth is also lost. Was this an unofficial mock-up that was created to hype up the GBA, or does it actually come from a long-lost Nintendo tech demo? Well, I don't know, and I'd be very shocked if we ever found out. Personally, I'd like to believe this image is from an actual tech demo, or at least originates from Nintendo and isn't some stupid magazine mock-up some editor made. And there are a few signs that point us in that direction. First of all, we know that the image was exclusive to the IGN boards, so for these sites to have gotten it, we know it had to have come from there. This means that someone had to have manually visited the site and grabbed the image from it. But I assume whoever grabbed it also read up on what IGN had to say about it for context, which is likely what would be retold on the websites that reposted it. And since nothing about it being a mock-up or fake is mentioned, it leads me to believe the image, at least in the context of IGN's reporting, is real. On top of that, keep in mind the repost dates are only days after IGN's original post, so it only means that whatever information was coupled with the image on IGN's boards is being retold more authentically here and here. But that's just what I think. Of course I can understand the questioning behind how factual IGN's reporting was or how truthful their Japanese source was, but I don't really see a reason for either of them to perpetuate this image as real if either of them knew it wasn't. And there have been certain projects that have been kept in secrecy for many years at Nintendo. I can definitely see that being the case. Or, this could be a more original GBA Yoshi demo that was phenomenally better than their earlier Yoshi's Story one, which according to IGN was as old as 1999. So as it stands, that's all there is to know right now. While we might not have complete confirmation on its origin, in the future I really hope we can gain some more insight about this image. So for now, the second GBA Yoshi tech demo will remain a mystery.